I am a little bit behind on starting these. However, it's better to start now and instead of making excuses to not do this. So here's the beginning of the 2023 garden tours. So missed out on the crocuses here, but that's okay, and the tulips flowered. I had actually forgotten that I planted tulips there. So they started to come up in the spring, and I was pretty excited about that. There's still lilies in here. I'm assuming those are the dark Night Rider ones that were here last year that I ripped up and I moved to the L-shaped bed, which we'll get to. This peony is one that we took up from my partner's grandmother's place. I thought I had killed this thing. Legitimately thought it was toast because I planted it wrong, and the tubers were kind of squishy, but it's come back. It's not as prolific as I would like it to be, but it's its first year, so, and then yeah, this is all dead stuff that I'm just gonna leave. I don't want to mess with it. I'm gonna let it grow, get established, because then it looks like this. This is the Julia Rose. This was the one I thought was gonna die on us last year and that we had to do a bunch of copper treatments on. A little bit of burn, discoloration on the leaves here, but just beautiful. Just coming in unbelievable. I'm floored. I'm so happy. I expect a lot of green growth this year, not so much any flowers, just as she gets established. That's really all I have planted in this bed right now. I do plan on coming out here and putting in like some annuals and some seeds and stuff, but I'm getting behind, and it's concerning me, but we'll get there. This is the original bed. Again, I missed the crocus and the tulips and the daffodils in this one. But everything else has just exploded. I was concerned that the little heucheras here were not going to come back, but they did. The clematis are unbelievable. That third one in the back didn't come back. I'm not surprised by that. Not surprised at all that it didn't come back. I kind of set it up for failure, unfortunately. I do have one in the back that's kind of in quarantine right now, just because it was one of 4 at a greenhouse and the other 3 had died, so I wanted to make sure that this one wasn't going to die. But the established ones are doing really well. I've already got a flower on the white one here, although that looks pretty purple. It's supposed to be white. Then I have a lot of flower buds on the red one here. And they like to try to grow under the porch. And I want it to grow up the porch. So that's that. This heuchera is my original heuchera, and she is beautiful and I love her. And I will forever love this plant because it's huge. And then we've got the orange one that came back, one of my original hostas. The obsidian came back. This is a new bleeding heart. I had purchased 2 last year and only one of them came back. So that one was a replacement one. It's a different color than my original one, but they're not too terribly different, so I'm okay with it. And yes, I am absolutely stuffing this bed full of things. So the tulips and the daffodils look like a mess because they're pretty much done. I'm waiting for the leaves to die off before I cut them back and replace with my annuals. Not sure what I'm going to do for annuals this year, but we'll see. The guacamole hosta came back. I may have to end up rethinking where the alliums are, just because that hosta is going to end up taking up a bunch of space, like this one does. This is the bleeding heart that survived last year, and it's massive. Like, I did not expect it to be this big this year. It's already had a set of flowers on it that fell off, so it's really happy. This hosta is forever happy. I actually believe there's probably 2 crowns in there, and if I felt like it, I could split it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this year though. I've got lilies that came up. I haven't had lilies in this bed in 3 years, so that must have been little bulbs that got left when I moved them originally. There's the other heuchera in there, it's kind of shaded out. And there is Kato checking out what I'm doing. Hey buddy! He's a gorgeous cat. And then my neighbors are there that we planted tulips and daylilies in. Those came up. And then we've got the strawberry and rose bed, along with, I think that's an aster plant. It's an aster or cone flower. I can't remember which. But they're native to Saskatchewan. And so that's why we planted them. We're trying to just kind of incorporate some native plants as well as our perennials. So we've already got issues with our leaves being chewed on. However, we've got flowers already on the roses, which I did not expect this year. Well, so soon, I guess. Strawberry plants are doing well. Need a little bit of fertilizer, but they have strawberries already, which I'm excited about. I believe all 18 of our original plants came back, which is exciting. And then there's runners and offshoots and whatnot that are doing really well. This is Centennial. We thought Centennial died, but Centennial is coming back slowly, which kind of makes me sad though, because this was the one that was the most prolific last year, and it's the one that has struggled the hardest so far coming back. Just keep an eye on it. I'm gonna have to eventually cut back the dead plant matter and go from there. And then yeah, this is one of the native plants that we got last year at the sale at the museum, and I won't remember what one it is until it flowers. You also notice that the bed is kind of a mess because we have had a ton of thunderstorms, and it keeps knocking out dirt and making paths and destroying my gardens, but that's all right. Got more flowers here. Got strawberries and more flowers, and then the irises and the daylilies and the Asiatic lilies. So the daylilies are doing really well. I'm quite pleased with those. I've lost half a dozen irises, which makes me sad because I spent a lot of money on those in the fall. But just because of when they got planted, I don't think they had enough time to really establish and protect themselves. So I'll be reassessing some of those. However, I say that, and if we hop over here, there's actually an iris that's getting ready to bloom. So that's pretty cool. And we got lots of Asiatic lilies popping up, and the daylilies are starting to grow here. That one's gonna have a flower on it really soon too. That's exciting. And then I have more tulips that I forgot about, but the rabbits got to them. Except for this one. This one has decided it wants to lay on its side. So that was a nice surprise. I forgot I had planted those. This is another native plant that we got from the sale. This is the dark peony that is doing really well. And then the midnight rose heuchera that my partner found last year. Those were actually, I had them over in the original bed, but I figured there was not going to be enough space. Turns out I was right. So I moved them here, and I'll be adding more to this bed. It's not covered, it doesn't have mulch, because it's still a work in progress, and I'm trying to remember that this is its first growing year, because we ripped it up last year. So it's gonna not look anything like any of the other beds right now. So yeah, that's the front yard so far. And yeah, we still have grass in here. We're not so much focused on doing crazy changes in the front this year. It's more so getting the sump in the back and getting the back and water mitigation, all that fun stuff. So speaking of that, seeing as I have nothing on my porch right now because I haven't planted my pots, because again, I'm a little bit behind. But I mean, it's growing weeds and lights. So anyways, we're gonna head to the back now and take a look at what's going on back there. Okay, so my peppers were pretty unhappy earlier because it was hot out, but this is Pepper Alley again. I put tags in all of them, so I've got Black Magic jalapenos, regular jalapenos, Ajirico peppers, sweet banana peppers, and I don't think I got bell peppers this year, because bell peppers never grow that great for me. What did I get? Oh, shishito, because Ian has requested shishito peppers, and I was able to find them. I don't have any of my baskets up. I don't have my chandelier up. We took them down because we had a pretty significant rainstorm that came through and just didn't want stuff to get destroyed, and I haven't put them back up yet because I just haven't. This is the clematis that I was talking about. It's been about a week now that it's been back here, so I'm going to move it up front. I've got daylilies that are super unhappy that need to go on the ground. The bees are not out yet, seeing as their house is right here. They're still in the fridge. They're going to be coming out right away here. I'll see if I can get a better shot, but my T-Rex hosta came up, and that's probably going to bite me in the butt. But I'm excited because it's going to get huge. So, what else can I talk about real quick? Oh, these are going to just be planted with flowers this year. And we're getting the sump sorted. As you can see, it's been pretty wet. But we just have a couple things we have to buy, and then that can get dug. Of course, again, every time we go to dig the dang thing, it storms, because it's like 11 days into June and we've had 3 pretty significant thunderstorms already, which is a lot. So anyways, on to the beds here. I've got cucumbers. So this was originally the first spot that I had planted cucumbers in when I started my garden, and they did really well in this area. So the only problem was they didn't put cucumbers out until almost the end of the season, and so I didn't get a huge harvest. And so I tried them in baskets, I tried moving them around, and they just didn't do very well. So I'm going to try them in here again, and I'm going to build like a trellis cage that they can grow up and whatnot, and then maybe underplant with some shades loving plants. We'll see. We're still in the very early stages of everything growing, so we got to see how those go. I got beans again in a little bit of a more accessible place this time. My peas are coming up on my chicken wire on the 4x4s. I've got okra starts there that are actually doing pretty good. I was a little worried because I planted them and then it rained a whole bunch, and I'm like, ooh, you guys don't like that. But I haven't lost any. I've only had the 6, and so they're doing all right. I've got my San Marzano tomatoes, so there's 12 of them here. I also don't have any trellising up. I don't have any of my hoses in yet, because it's been busy. Life has been busy. Anyways, the tomato plants are double the size they were when I bought them, so that's really awesome. And again, I don't know how to count when it comes to tomatoes, because every year I end up with too many tomatoes. I bought the 12 San Marzanos on purpose because I'm more focusing on production and being able to put stuff up throughout the year. So like I can make sauces, or I can can them, or I can dice them up and whatnot and use them for cooking. And then I got 4 black Krim and went, oh shoot, where am I going to put all these tomatoes? So we have 12 and 4, it's what, 16 tomato plants this year, whereas last year I had 13 because I don't know what moderation is. But that's fine. I'll use them, provided they produce. So now we're gonna walk through here. Actually, it's not too bad. So I planted a zucchini here, a yellow zucchini. Second year in a row I have planted yellow zucchini and it hasn't come up. But my dollar store zucchini came up, like the champ that it is. So I have a square here that I don't know what I'm gonna plant, but I'll figure something out, I'm sure. I've got a row of carrots, a row of radish, a row of beets. I just mixed varieties. Wasn't really too concerned over what was what. Alright. This all has to get dealt with because there's all of this growing up that's just weeds that have to come out. My plan is to put sunflowers along the fence this year. And actually, my best friend sent me 2 kinds of sunflower varieties that are really dark, and I'm going to use them along here. Oh, there's a drake. Oh. I don't know if you can see. Oh no, it flew away. Hello. I'm trying to show this dragonfly. Oh, no, it flew away. Okay, what else do I got? I have some very unhappy eggplants. Like, very unhappy eggplants. I don't know if they will survive, but I guess we'll see. The tomatoes here are doing really well. They're liking that hot afternoon sun. The green onions, or I guess my yellow onions, I believe all of them have sprouted. So I've got lots of green tops, just hoping this year that they bulb out for me. I've had issues in the past where they haven't bulbed, which is annoying to say the least. But the dirt this year is really loose. Like, I haven't watered since the storm, and like it's still damp in there. And it's very, like, it holds its shape but not too much. So I'm very happy with the way the dirt is this year. And yeah, lots of little growth, which is exciting. Those marigolds don't seem very happy. Dang it. Yeah, this is, well, I say I'm probably 2 weeks into growing now, but I haven't been recording, which is going to change. It's just timing. It's been a little hectic. Let's see if I can get a better zoom in on that hosta there. Yeah, look at that. It's supposed to be 6 feet across eventually. But yeah, this is where we're at. The start of June here, before the jungle takes over. But that's really all I gotta say in this first update here. So thank you for watching and hanging out, and I will see you guys in the next one.